We're going to now move on and talk a little bit about corruption. We're going to change this up a little bit. I know we're scheduled in order, but we're going to bring up Ms. Shirley Moore next. Dr. Moore is the National Director over the Legislative Affairs Department for American Family Rights Association. She's the president of Praying Hands for Justice and is the first black ever to be a national delegate out of San Bernardino County, the largest county in the nation geographically. Would you please welcome Ms. Shirley Moore?
Good evening. Thank you for having me. Today I'm not here representing any group. I'm here on behalf of my Father, the Lord Jesus Christ. I'm coming here today to bring you the truth. All that I heard today was the problem, but today the Lord has showed me what to give you people so we can clean it up. Number one, I think the problem is that many times when we are ordered by the court to go to different services, whether it be child parenting classes, anger management classes, you have your judges and other officers of the courts sitting on the board of directors. We need to go to Washington and outlaw that practice. Once they're no longer sitting on the boards of the services that the courts are mandating you to go to, and you take the money out of it, they will no longer make a slave out of you. Number two, what we need to do, we need to ask Washington to stop allowing them to run phony nonprofits in our private buildings. Many of these nonprofits are being utilized to launder your tax dollars. I believe what is happening today is that we have limited ourselves to only CPS cases. What we should have done, we should have went against the whole court system. Because what happens is when it's like a balloon. If you're over here squeezing CPS, it's jumping out over here, family court, criminal court, probate court, so they got you. What I like to do today is show different individuals from different states how to go back and investigate your case for intrinsic fraud and non-disclosures. And once you're able to come up with a package like I've come up with their bank accounts, showing that the money is not going to children, but in fact it's going to country clubs, cash, jewelry stores. Once I show you that they're operating like they are in LA County, they're running a private corporation in our courthouse in the finance department. When I show you that many of the facilities that you're going to are not even registered and nothing but ghost corporations to generate money, then we're going to come together, and then what we need to do, need to do a national taxpayers lawsuit against the United States of America. What we need to do is show how they have misappropriated our money and made slaves out of the people, how they have used our money without vote of approval. What we need to do is stop again focusing. We're going to look at it like this. This is the court. From the court, CPS, family court, criminal, hit them all. We need to attack the body. Stop looking at one tentacle. That's what they're doing. They're diverting us over here, children. You got people right now that have stood up and fought for their children, and now they're facing 25 years of life, but 3 strikes, never did a thing. What about those people? If we open it up, this place would be full. But if we're just focusing on one entity, this is why we have enough people here to fill a phone booth. This place should be full. Right now, as I stand here before you, I'll tell you, many people like myself, I've never been involved in CPS. My children are successful, thank the Lord. I'm here because I want to help the people. I spend my money to come out here to give you direction. I come out here to show you how to have every case in your state reopened based upon intrinsic fraud and non-disclosure. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing it 20 years. I am the lady that caused Los Angeles County to open up 30,000 foster care cases. Not only did that, I opened them up, they went on to say 50% of the kids could have stayed home. They admitted that they did it for the money, and they targeted the poor people. Now, if I could get Los Angeles County to do that, the largest child court in the nation, I can come to Michigan, I can come to Alabama, Louisiana, because they're all working in the same. Now, we want to talk a little bit about Michigan. I am the lady who has busted Michigan down to its feet. Michigan is a terrible state, starting with your governor, who has operated a governor's task force. They have made it whereby you have no win. If you look into Michigan, you will see that your judges, your social workers, your so-called expert witnesses are all sitting on nonprofits that the courts are mandating you to go to. If we know and you know that the whole thing is about money, whether it's Title IV money and any of the other grant monies, what we need to do, we need to stop them from being able to sit on the boards. I'm going to give you a last point in case that I found in your wonderful state of Michigan. And the state of Michigan, you have a doctor there by the name of Maria Church. She is one of your expert witnesses, not only in children's courts, but in criminal courts. We discovered that she has an x-ray of a baby with a skull fracture. This lady is going around from court to court pretending that that's your child, putting your child's name around this x-ray, taking your children. Come to find out, when the lawsuit came out, they moved her from Michigan. Now she's in Florida. I'm sure she'll be using that same x-ray. The bottom line is it has nothing to do with your CPS. They're looking for any excuse. They're generating any excuse to pull you into the court. Because every time they pull you into a court, there is grant money tied to that. Every time you use a public defender, there is grant money tied to that. So what we need to do, we need to rethink our thoughts and say, look, forget, just like in the 60s, they knew it was segregation, but they didn't say we're just going to handle the water fountain. They didn't just say we're going to handle the bus. They tied it all together. So what I'm saying, don't just look at CPS. Don't look at family court. Let's look at the whole totality, and let's close the doors on it all. And last, but not least, now we're talking about solutions. I just want to show you this. And I think that I'll be able to do it. I'm going to teach you people how to do it. We're going to get the 990s, the tax forms, show them where the money's going. We're going to ask them to be accountable. This is our money, people. This is our money. They need to tell us how they're spending our money. We need to know how it is that Family Court Services Special Fund, Family Courts Services don't even exist. They've never been registered. But how is it that the county bar is laundering money to them? Now, you talk about the county bar, right? These are the people that defend you when you're in trouble. So therefore, if they're laundering money to your judges, how are you going to win? You can't win. So therefore, that's why I say to you today, we've got to stop all of these phony non-profits from operating in our public buildings. We have to have accountability for every dime that goes through our public buildings. What we need to do, we need to tell Washington, no more can the judge sit on the board of parent alienation classes or whatever the services they send you to, whether it be anger management classes. They can't sit on these boards. Those experts that are sitting there testifying, causing you to go there, they can no longer sit there. They need to have citizens like me and you to sit on there and we'll be accountable, and we don't get paid by the county. We're getting paid by the federal government, and then on that point, you don't need to sit on there longer than a year because you might get pulled in. After a year's time, you move on. This is where your problem is. It has nothing just to do with Title IV money. It has nothing just to do with you taking your children. Right now, they're going to pluck you, whether it be your house, whether it be your life, whether it be your liberties. And lastly, what I want to get on is a child support situation. Number one, if, in fact, that there is no debtor's court, they've been outlawed, why are men and women going to jail for child support? That's number one. Number two, if you are behind in child support, the county notifies the federal government, they pay it for you, and at the end of the year, they take your check. So therefore, it's being paid. Why is the county coming after you a second time? Why aren't you asking these questions? Third but not least, we got a Troxell versus, I think, Granville. Why aren't your attorneys fighting the case in federal court or any court that says that no child can be a ward of the court unless they are an orphan, no living relatives?